Faith that stops lions, the Daniel miracle. In the heart of the sprawling Babylonian Empire, under the reign of King Darius, one man's unwavering devotion was about to challenge the very foundations of power. This is the story of how steadfast faith can stare into the face of death and silence its roar. Let this inspire you. Daniel, an exile who had risen to the highest office through his exceptional skill and unimpeachable character, was favored by the king. But his integrity shone a harsh light on the corruption of the other high officials. Consumed by envy and threatened by his honesty, they sought to destroy him. They scrutinized his work, searching for any mistake, any hint of scandal, but found nothing. His record was flawless. Frustrated, they realized his only vulnerability wasn't a weakness, but his greatest strength, his unshakable faith in his God. What an example of courage! And so they devised a trap woven from vanity and law. They approached King Darius with flattery, proposing a decree to fortify his authority. For 30 days, no one in the entire kingdom was to pray to any god or man except to the king himself. The penalty for disobedience? To be thrown into the den of lions. Blinded by pride and failing to see the malicious intent aimed at his most trusted advisor, the king signed the decree. The royal seal was pressed, and the law became unalterable. The trap was set. But faith would not be shaken. Daniel knew of the decree. He knew the penalty, yet he did not hide. He did not compromise. As was his custom, he went to his home, opened the windows of his upper chamber that faced toward Jerusalem, and 3 times that day he knelt and prayed, giving thanks to his God. His faith was not a secret to be protected, but a truth to be lived, openly and courageously. Just as they had planned, the conspirators burst in, finding him in the very act of devotion. Their accusation was ready. When the king heard their report, the trap snapped shut around his own heart. He was deeply distressed and realized he had been manipulated. The scripture says he labored until sundown to find a way to save Daniel, but his hands were tied by his own irreversible decree. The law of the Medes and Persians could not be undone. Even in despair, hope can shine through. With a heavy heart, the king gave the order. Daniel was cast into the den of lions. As the great stone was rolled into place, sealing the tomb-like pit, the king's final desperate words echoed in the twilight. May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you. What faith, what hope! In the suffocating darkness, surrounded by the scent of powerful predators, the lions prowled. But the King of Heaven had heard the prayer of his servant. An angel descended, a presence of pure peace and power that shut the mouths of the hungry beasts. Miracles happen when faith is strong. The fearsome predators became gentle companions. Daniel spent the night not in terror, but in perfect peace, sheltered in the hollow of God's hand. Let this fill you with hope. After a long sleepless night of fasting and worry, the king rushed to the den at the first light of dawn. With a voice trembling with fear and a sliver of hope, he cried out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions?" And from the depths of the pit, a calm, clear voice replied, "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and has shut the lions' mouths." Faith rewarded, Daniel was brought out and not a single scratch was found on him because he had trusted in his God. The miracle was undeniable. Overjoyed, the king's relief turned to righteous anger. He commanded that the men who had maliciously accused Daniel, along with their families, be cast into the very same den. The scripture tells us that before they even reached the floor, the lions overpowered them, demonstrating the divine nature of Daniel's deliverance. Stand firm in your faith. King Darius then wrote a new decree, declaring that all throughout his kingdom, people should honor the God of Daniel. This story teaches us that faith is not the absence of lions, but the presence of God in the den with us. When you stand firm in your convictions, when you trust in God's power to deliver, no trial, no trap, no lion can ultimately devour you. Trust in his deliverance and watch your own miracle unfold. Be inspired and let your faith shine. Share this story to inspire someone's courage today. Faith that stops lions. Trust God's deliverance.